Will you say your name and the year and where you were born?
June Sasaki, October 10th, 1939.
And you were born in Watsonville?
I was born in Watsonville. Dr. Icecamp was my doctor that delivered me.
And what were your parents' names?
My father's name is Jitsu Sasaki. My mom's name is Marion Chiyoe Sasaki.
And where were each of them born? Where were they born, your parents?
Oh, my mother was born in Wrights Station, California. And my father was born in Japan. I'm not sure where.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you said they were married, arranged, their marriage was arranged?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And can you remind me where your father was working near Watsonville? When you were born, where was your father working?
Oh, he was working on the Martinelli Ranch,
Okay.
probably Apple Ranch, because I think we lived there on the ranch.
Yes.
Um,
And you lived there until about what year?
1941, when the war started.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put us in an assembly center at Sheriff's Posse Grounds in Salinas. And then from there, they shipped us to Poston, Arizona.
Okay.
We went on a train.
Do you remember the train ride?
No, I don't remember the train ride going, but coming back, I do.
So can you tell me a little bit about what life was like at the camp in Poston?
Okay, my father was a fireman there, and anyway, my mother would go to the cafeteria to bring us food for us to eat, and then I remember we didn't have too many clothes either, and I started school over there, and everybody, all the other kids, they're all Japanese people there, okay?
Right.
All the kids, they knew how to speak English, but I didn't. So I had a hard time. I had to learn, I had to learn English.
Did most of the family speak Japanese to each other, or was it mostly English?
My father, yeah, our family, they spoke Japanese, yeah. But my mom could speak English because
Okay.
she was born here.
Do you remember ever speaking to in Japanese to other people at Poston, or only to your own family?
I don't remember speaking Japanese, to tell you the truth.
Do you still speak it, or
No, I don't. I don't speak it, but I could understand it, and I could probably reply yes or no.
What was it like being a kid at the camp?
Okay. Anyway, it was kind of fun for us because we were out in the desert. There was wild horses out there, and things to do, but not that many. And see, our parents probably shielded us from a lot of because my mom it was really hard for her.
Yeah.
And we were right on the Colorado River, and I got lost there one time, right on the Colorado River.
How'd you get lost?
I don't know. I just probably wandered off, and it used to be an Indian reservation, Colorado River Indian Reservation, and they moved the Indians someplace else, and they built those tar paper houses for us. And as we were leaving, the Indians started filtering back in. They started coming in. They had goats and things that they started coming back in to replace some of the houses that, after the war.
Right. Do you remember any Native Americans living there at the same time, or were they mostly forced to leave?
It was toward the end, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I do remember leaving there. We went to this town of Parker, Arizona, and that's the first time I seen a store window. And it was at night, it was lit up. I think they had probably fishing gear or something like that. It was really shiny, and I thought that was really something.
It's interesting you remember that because you were really young when you left, right?
Yeah,
When you were
okay, I
forced-
was probably, 5 or 6 probably.
Okay.
Hmm.
How old were you when you came back? Or what happened? I guess, how did your parents decide to come back here after you were able to leave in Poston?
Okay, first we went back to Watsonville, and I think we stayed at a church until my father got a job. He got a job in Carmel Valley, and on a ranch, and so we lived in Carmel Valley for 2 years
Wow.
on a ranch. Uh-huh.
Did they have you doing any work, or were you doing school?
No, just go to school. I went probably first and second grade over there, and my father worked with horses.
Okay.
You know, the draft horse, plowing and cultivating the field and stuff like that, and with a sled, you know.
Wow. That was his job on the ranch, was to plow the fields?
Yeah, that was his job.
Wow. Did you ever get to ride horses?
Well, once I asked him if I could take the horses back to the barn, because we had to go down this road and right down by the river, Carmel River, and in the corner they had the barn where they kept the horses, and so I asked him if I could take him to the barn, and he gave me the reins, and I practically had to run because I was a little, you know, because they had pretty good speed, you know, but they went down this way, down that way, and I tried to stop them. Whoa, I tried to say whoa, but they kept on going. So I'm sure my father was back there laughing probably at me.
What did your mother do when you were back in the Carmel Valley?
My mother, I think she worked for the boss. The boss did housework or something
Okay.
over there.
Do you know why they decided to move up here to?
Okay, yeah, I think my father got fired. Okay, because anyway, we lived in this this house. It was divided, and the room over here, there was some young Mexican people there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, they get up in the morning and they start chopping wood at 4 o'clock in the morning. So my father had words with them, and I think they left. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that was probably the cause of my father getting fired. But we was there 2 years,
Wow.
first and second grade. And anyway, the people were really nice to us.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was white there, actually. So we was the only Japanese right there.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
You didn't know any other Japanese families?
Yeah, there was another Japanese family that lived across the river, and I can't remember their names, but they had a son named Susumu, which was my brother's name, and for some reason we'd yell across the river and Susumu, and somebody answered, you know.
Wow.
It was pretty neat over there. We go crawfishing, crawdad fishing, and where we lived, the boss, they had a daughter which was my age, and 2 older boys. And anyway, we used to go ride on the horses with them,
Wow.
and so it was kind of fun over there.
That's especially fun for like a first grader. That's really adventurous.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we used to have to chase the horses to catch them. You know, they're out in the field. And I was wondering, how the heck are you going to catch a horse in the field? But for some reason, they finally came to you, you know.
Do you know why your parents chose to did they come up to Los Gatos, or did they settle somewhere else in the valley?
Oh, okay. We went to back to Watsonville, and my father was working as a farm laborer there. We lived on this, what do they call it? A camp. It's a work camp, okay? And I think he picked apples and things like that.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then he got a job in Los Gatos, and that's how we came to Los Gatos.
Interesting.
He got a job as a caretaker on this estate. Okay, anyway, these Italians, they had a candy company. It's called Kyoto Candy Company in Oakland, okay, and
Oh.
they owned the estate, and so they didn't live there. They lived at different places. They lived in San Jose and Oakland or someplace up there, but they come for the weekend sometimes.
Do you know where about in town that was located now?
Yes, it's below the novitiate.
Oh,
Okay, it was 200 Prospect Avenue. And
interesting.
anyway, it was like that for I'm not sure how many years. And then the Sisters of the Holy Names, they bought it and they built a convent there.
Right.
Okay, but it's no longer there now. They took it down. They built big houses up there now,
Right.
big homes. Yeah.
How long did your father work at that?
He worked there 10 years.
Wow.
Mhm. And after the sisters bought the property, he was, even though we weren't Catholic, he was allowed to work there.
Okay.
So we stayed on for another 5 years. And,
Wow.
I think around 58 or so, 57, 58, they bought a house down on Blossom Hill Road.
Oh.
And so we moved there. Uh-huh.
Your parents bought that house?
Yes, uh-huh.
Do you remember, we spoke to some other families who said they had trouble purchasing a house. Do you know if your parents had trouble actually being able to buy a house?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. But anyway, when they went looking for a house, we always thought, because we were Japanese, and who would accept us? Where could we go? Where we weren't hated, you know?
Right.
Because you know, after the war, there was a lot of hate because these people, their kids got killed in the war, you know, and so you couldn't blame them. And so we had to watch what we did, and our parents always told us to set a good example, you know. Don't mess up, you know, and because you're being watched all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any memories as a kid feeling that way, like you were being watched, or
Not me, not really. Everybody treated us really good. All the kids, they didn't seem to have that much, you know, that we were that different, you know.
Right.
That's the way I took it anyway.
What schools were you going to when you moved to?
University Avenue School.
Okay.
Yeah, it was grammar school, Los Gatos Grammar School
Mm-hmm.
on University Avenue. You know where Old Town is?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay, you know about the history then.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and I started in third grade, but we had a class over there at the high school because I think it was crowded, and so they had a room at the high school for third graders.
Wow.
Just one class. And so at lunchtime, we would walk over to the grammar school for lunch and then walk back. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And that was just for third graders?
Yeah, just for third grade, just the one class. Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the bridge, or did you have to walk?
Okay,
up the
yeah,
street?
there was a bridge. It was a suspension bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was suspended, so you could shake it. You know, it would shake. Uh-huh.
Someone had talked about crossing a bridge back there, and I was wondering because it's probably not the same bridge that's there right now.
Oh no, it's not. No. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was suspension, so you could shake it. It was it was hanging off of cables. You know? Yeah, it was pretty cool. There was a big steep hill behind the grammar school that goes down to the bridge. Pretty steep. And anyway, my friend Billy Mason, I was down there, and he came down on his bike real fast, and he hit me with his bike, you know. And anyway, all afternoon he kept saying, I'm sorry. But anyway, that's how we met, I guess.
Do you still have any friends that you were friends with back in grammar school?
Yes, uh-huh. Yeah, most of them are my friends still.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Wow. Like who?
Okay, there's Billy Mason, Bill Flanagan. I see him every now and then, and Hardy Burke, and there's Ralph Higgins, and a lot of them has died on me already, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Tony, I knew her in grammar school and high school both, you know.
Wow.
Hmm.
Did you enjoy the University Avenue school? Did you enjoy going to school at that grammar school?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it was fun.
What did you do? Do you remember what you did in your free time as a young kid?
Usually go home and probably I had chores to do. You know, we live on a big estate, so my father had us working there. You know.
Oh, you lived on the estate where he was.
We lived on the estate, yes. Yeah, that's where they were able to save money to buy a house because you know, the rent is free there. You know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of work was he doing there? Was it all farming, ranching?
It was a garden work, yard work,
Okay.
garden work, and orchard work. You know, they had apricot trees, so he had to prune them and stuff like that.
Did he have you doing that work too?
I didn't do too much pruning. No,
Nice.
I didn't learn too much pruning, but I love cutting trees now.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And then how about for middle school? Did you go anywhere? Where did you go for the grades between grammar school and high school? I guess how long, till what grade were you at the University Avenue school?
Oh, 8th grade.
8th grade, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
8th grade. I graduated there, and then went to high school.
Wow.
Hmm.
How was your experience at Los Gatos High? You were at the Los Gatos High School?
Los Gatos High School. Yes.
How was that experience?
It was very good.
Yeah.
Very good. But anyway, I was kind of a what do you say, a social outcast, like, because I don't know, everybody started they had girlfriends and everything like that, and you know, I was kind of out of it right there. I was really shy, you know, and so anyway, you know, sometimes you get dumped by your friends because you don't do the same thing they do. You know, they go to dances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made it through anyway.
Did you do any sports or anything, or did you?
Yes, I did. I did a track, a wrestling, and track. Gee, I think that's about it. I was a future farmer also.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
Future farmer is agriculture. They had a class in agriculture.
Cool.
Okay, that's because I started out taking algebra and what's the other one? Anyway,
Calculus?
I wasn't that smart, so I couldn't keep up with it. So the counselor told me that I should try something else. So I did agriculture,
Ah.
which didn't take much brains, I guess.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fun there.
Who were some of your friends in high school?
Okay, I had Louis Spanazzi and Harley Burke. He's still my best friend right now, Harley. We kind of went back together, you know.
That's cool.
After all the years, and yeah, he lives in Watsonville right now.
Oh wow.
He's got about 18 to 20 acres up by Mount Madonna.
Wow.
He's got a nice place up there, and I go up there and I used to go up there and help him.
Wow. And what other kind of things did you do in high school? You said you were shy and outcast, but what did you do for fun?
Okay, I did garden work. After school, I did garden work. So afterwards, the sports. Instead of sports, I went to do garden work. I went to, cut lawns and cut hedges and stuff like that.
Wow. Did you have a pretty good business?
A little bit, not not that good,
How did you find people to garden for?
Okay, I think I started at one place, and then word of mouth kept, the neighbors and yeah.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun.
Did you have any siblings or any brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I had one brother and one sister. Uh-huh.
Are they older or younger?
My brother was younger than me, and my sister is older. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did they also went to schools here too?
Yeah, Los Gatos. Uh-huh.
Yeah. How was their experience? Did they enjoy living here?
Yes, they did. Uh-huh.
What year did you graduate?
57.
57.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My brother is 59, and my sister is 55.
Okay. What did you do after high school?
I got a job here at Maccabees. It was my friend was moving out of town, so he got me the job. And I was kind of small. They didn't think I could probably handle it because they had 100-pound sacks and stuff you had to move. But anyway, I did it, and I stayed there probably 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
What was your title? Like, what other types of jobs did they have you do?
After that?
Just at Maccabees.
Oh, at Maccabees? Yeah, I did everything. I did delivery, I did sales, delivery, loaded trucks, loaded people's cars. And
Wow.
It was building material, fuel, and feed store, like.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
And then what type of job did you do after that?
After that, okay, my friend got me a job at this Republic Aluminum Company. They did windows, window frames out of aluminum extrusions, and it was a machine shop, like. Okay. And we had to cut it and do machine work to make the frames.
How did you train in that? You just got the job?
I just got the job, yeah. Okay, a saw. I was on this saw. Mm-hmm. It's a real fast saw. It cuts real fast like that. And you feed the pieces through, and you have to cut them to length. And they had punch presses and all that stuff to machine them with.
Wow. What? And you just learned on the job?
Just on the job, yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Just started working. Uh-huh.
And I guess how long did you do that type of work?
Okay, probably a couple of years. Yeah.
Where was that?
That was in Santa Clara.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
And actually, let's see. Tony's husband, actually, her first husband, got me the job. You know. Yeah.
What was his name?
His name was Mike Miller. Mm-hmm. And he was in our class. Okay. Yeah, with Tony. She was in our class too. Uh-huh.
And so what did you do after?
Okay, after that, let's see, what did I do? I worked, let's see, I was bouncing around a little bit, okay? Mm-hmm. Because, let's see, I worked in a nursery for a while. I worked at a car dealership for a while. And, and then I went back to Maccabees because, I just happened to go back there and see if I could get back on. And I worked there for another, probably a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, uh-huh. Wow. And then I got a job at a machine shop. Okay, that was in Santa Clara, okay? Mm-hmm. And then from there, I got into the ironworking. Okay, because Louis Spinazzi, my friend Louis Spinazzi, asked me if I wanted to try it out. So I told these people that I'm gonna take a vacation just to try it out. I didn't tell them where I was going, and they wouldn't let me have a vacation. So I had to quit and go over there. And
how did you get the foundry job? Like Louis recommended you?
Yeah, because Louis was working there. Uh-huh.
Okay. What kind of work was that at the foundry?
Okay, we put up stairs, precast stairs, and they did handrail too. Wow. So it was miscellaneous iron work they did. Okay, so I worked with Louis. Me and Louis worked together, and we put up the frame for the precast stairs. Wow. Or put up the stringers for the precast stairs.
That was in Santa Clara?
Yeah, all through the valley here, actually, Campbell, all over.
Do you remember any of the places where you put in the stairs and handrails and things?
Yes, I do. Yeah, they're on Saratoga Avenue.
Yeah?
Saratoga Avenue, Payne Avenue, and yeah, there was many places over there.
It's a pretty intensive job, right? Casting iron.
Yeah, it was pretty. And anyway, we got into the union. Okay, me and Louie got into the union because it was a non-union shop, and the union would try to clamp down on us. So me and Louie got in. Louie got in as a journeyman, and I was an apprentice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked there a couple of years, and then my other friend Tim Boyajian. Anyway, he was working as an iron worker, and he got me a job in the city. Okay, for the big iron, big boys.
San Francisco? Or
San Francisco, yeah.
Wow. Which shop or which company?
Okay, it was a big company. It was United States Steel.
Wow.
It was American Bridge, they call it.
What kind of work were you doing there?
Okay, I was welding. Okay, my first job, it was fitting up for the welders. We put these backup plates so the welders come and weld it without them fitting up themselves.
Wow. What kind of what were you working on? Like, what were you welding for?
Oh, it was in the financial district. It was, I think it was probably a 21-story office building. Yeah,
Wow.
it was big steel. Big beams and columns.
Yeah. How long were you at that?
Okay, probably 3-4 months, probably.
Wow.
But from there on, I just kept different companies.
Where were you living during all of this time? Like from high school?
Okay, I was living, let's see, I was living in Campbell. I lived in Campbell.
Okay. Close to downtown or somewhere between?
Campbell, it's Hamilton Avenue. I lived on Hamilton Avenue there.
Wow. That the whole time after high school?
No, not for that long. Probably in the 60s, 66 to, I don't know, 69 or so.
Wow. And I guess, did you keep any connection here in Los Gatos? Did your family still live here?
Yeah, my mom lived here. Mom lived here. Yeah, my dad died when I was in 1961. He died.
Okay.
And so my mom lived at the house on Blossom Hill Road. I lived with her sometimes too.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, and then I bought a house in Los Gatos.
Oh, where at?
It was on Harwood Road.
Okay.
Harwood Road, Los Gatos.
Around what year?
Let me see. I can't remember. Probably 68 or 69.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? How was life in town in the 60s and 70s?
Okay. It was. I wasn't in town much, I was mostly out of town on Harwood Road, but it was it wasn't like it was today.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
Is there anything that you see now around town that shocks you or makes you makes it clear how different things were back then?
Oh, not really. I don't know. Things progressed,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they say the yuppies moved into town, okay, at one time. So it became a town with a lot of rich people coming into town,
Around when do you think people started to move in with money? Because other people have told us too that they remember
okay,
it as
you know what? There's always been people with money around town,
Because I know, some people would come and vacation down here from San Francisco, but it wasn't until later that a lot more people with a lot of money started to move in versus the kind of working class community that was here before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember noticing any time when that really felt like when you said yuppies moved in?
I don't know. I don't recall.
That's okay. Does you or anyone in the family still own the house on Blossom Hill Road?
My mom did. Yeah, we sold the house.
Okay.
Yeah, after my mom passed on at I'm not sure 1991
Okay.
or so.
Wow. And do your siblings still live in the area?
Yes, I have a sister. She lives in Monte Sereno.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother, I lost him 3 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And was he also living in town?
He was living in San Jose. He was living in an apartment.
Okay.
And his wife died, and about 7 years later, we lost him.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have any children?
Pardon me?
Did he have any
No, he
children?
didn't have any children.
Okay. What about your sister?
My sister never got married.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What about you?
I mean, I never had any children, but I raised 5 children.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a relationship before, and I raised 3 children, and then now I raised 2 more.
Wow.
So I got grandkids. I got a lot of grandkids, but none of them my own,
Where do they live?
Pardon me?
Where do they live?
Oh, they live in San Jose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to see them?
Oh, yeah, I see them off and on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with COVID and everything, have you been able to keep in touch with family?
Yeah, we do see them, the grandkids and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been part of any other organizations, like religious or political or social organizations or groups?
No, I was just belonged to the ironworkers in a union, so I was lucky. My brother was union also. He was a carpet layer.
Oh.
And my sister worked for the Pacific Telephone, Pac Bell or something.
Wow.
So anyway, so we get pensions, so we're lucky.
Where else did you work as a union worker?
Okay, I worked in Northern California, Southern California. I worked in Utah, Wyoming, in Washington. Because as an iron worker, you could, they call it booming around. You could boom you could boom all the way across country if you want to.
You just pick jobs that are available?
Okay, a lot of people, they call them boomers, and they follow all the overtime jobs to make the big money,
Okay.
But there's overseas work also, but I've never been overseas.
Have you kept in touch with any other parts of your family through your parents?
Other parts of my family?
So I know that you had family in Japan before your parents moved
Oh, okay.
here.
We did go to Japan. Yes, my brother took us to Japan about 5 years ago, and he got in touch with some family in Japan.
Wow.
But anyway, I don't keep in touch with him.
What was that like? What was that experience?
Oh, that was a pretty good experience. It's a beautiful country over there. Mm-hmm.
Where do they live in Japan? The family
It's
that you met?
Wakayama.
Mhm.
I can't tell you where, but southeast, I think, Japan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And were you invited to their homes?
I think my brother met with them.
Okay.
He met with them because, but I never have. No.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But we kind of lost touch when we lost my brother.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why he felt compelled to find them?
Pardon me?
Do you know why he wanted to find that family?
Well, I think just curiosity, mostly,
Yeah.
and see, just to see where our parents came from, you know.
Right.
Hmm.
How did that feel to be able to be where they were from?
Okay, I couldn't believe I was there. I kept saying to myself, "Hey, I'm in Japan," but I couldn't believe I was there, you know,
Yeah.
because it's too far-fetched for me.
How long were you there?
Let's see, probably 2 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we went all through north and south because they have those high-speed trains, and everywhere those trains go, there's like a town. It's a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you said you can understand Japanese. Was it?
I could understand a little bit, but not too much anymore.
Yeah.
I've been Americanized. Yeah, I don't know that many Japanese people, really.
Yeah. Do you kind of like going way back? Did you keep in touch with any other families that were at Poston with you?
No, not really. No.
Mm-hmm. Did you know any that also moved up to like Watsonville or Santa Cruz or the Santa Clara Valley? Or did you mostly lose touch with those?
Not too many, not too much, really.
Yeah. Do you remember your parents ever talking about internment or their feelings about trying to reestablish themselves afterwards?
Okay, not really, not really. They just kind of moved on, but my mom said it was awful. She said it was awful.
Yeah.
Awful experience for them.
Do you know what in particular was difficult for her? Besides the obvious of being forced to leave?
I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like they did a good job sheltering the kids.
Yeah, I think that they sheltered us quite a bit. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did she take any jobs while she was in the camp?
I don't think she just took care of us, I think.
Mm-hmm. How did your father go about, did he decide he wanted to be a firefighter while he was there, or was it something that was...
I really don't know. I really don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, I guess jobs were available, you
Right.
know. Yeah, because it was actually like a whole town, you know. In fact, there was a big population. Some of those towns with all Japanese is bigger than a lot of towns in Arizona.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How did that feel? How did it feel being entirely with other Japanese people?
Okay,
Instead of, like, Watsonville?
okay, it was probably natural for me, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay, because over here, we didn't have a lot of places to go, you know. I mean, you know, if you went out there to a restaurant, we wouldn't think about going to a white restaurant, a regular restaurant. Chinese restaurant, we'll go to a Chinese restaurant. And anyway, this place called Gilroy Hot Springs, we went there. We used to go there. Parents used to take us over there to Gilroy Hot Springs because it was Japanese owned and Japanese run.
wow.
So that's one place that we could go to. But try to go to any other resort, forget it, you know. We wouldn't think about it.
Did your family know the owners of the Gilroy House?
I think so. I think they did.
Yeah.
Because they all met him in camp, see, over there in Arizona. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. Do you remember any other places around the area that you knew you weren't allowed to go as a family?
Okay, a lot of places like, you know, they had the Billy Jones Wildcat Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
We never went there either. Went there, and
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But you had to watch where you went, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you still speak Japanese in the house when you were, like, at the estate when you were living here in Los Gatos?
No, I speak English all the time, but my father spoke Japanese. He spoke broken English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a difference between how your family communicated with each other at home or on the state versus when you were out in town. Like if you spoke Japanese to each other at home, but maybe not out.
Uh, Us kids wouldn't.
Yeah.
We speak English, yeah.
Right.
But my mom spoke to us in English.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because she was born here, correct?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier her father decided to take them back to Japan.
Yeah, he worked the ranch and retired, and he sold the ranch. And so to retire back to Japan, took the whole family with him.
That ranch was in Watsonville?
The ranch was up here on Summit Road.
Oh,
It's have you heard of the Radonich Ranch?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's where it was. It was, I think, about over 100 acres. It was apples and stuff like that. Apples and
Wow.
maybe prunes too. But anyway, they would take the fruit to Wrights Station, where they had a train station there, or even to Los Gatos Station. They
Wow.
took the fruit to sell it.
This is going far back, but do you know when he came to the U.S.? Or was he also born here, her father?
Probably 1900, probably.
Okay,
Because my mom was born in 1907.
okay.
Mhm.
At the ranch?
Yeah, actually, Wrights Station.
Wow.
Wrights Station, I think they had a hospital there.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so he owned that land?
Yes, I think they started with partners first. I'm not sure how many partners, maybe 3 of them. And then I think he bought them all out.
Wow. Were they all Japanese?
Yeah, I think they're Japanese. Mhm.
Do you know any of those names? That's a stretch, but
I don't know. I do not know the names.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had some relatives in Salinas, and their name was Teraji. And anyway, they couldn't buy land, okay? So, because they weren't born here, but my mom signed it so they could buy land over there in Salinas. They had a ranch over there in Salinas.
wow.
My mom signed for them so that they could have it. And another story is they didn't have to go to internment camp. They went to this place called Grand Junction. Grand Junction, is that Colorado?
I think so.
Grand Junction? I think it's Grand Junction. I think it's Colorado. Yeah, anyway,
I think it is, yeah.
They went to Grand Junction and they ranched over there.
Wow.
So some people could escape being, or they could go to the East Coast maybe too.
Right.
It's just the West Coast. It was
The exclusion.
they had
zone.
to get rid of us.
Did you know any? Well, I guess you would have been too young, but did your family know anyone else who left instead of being interned?
I don't know if they did or not. I don't know. I don't recall.
How did they decide to come back to the U.S.? I guess because your mother's father probably stayed in Japan, right?
Yeah, he stayed there. Yeah, everybody stayed there. Let's see. I had an uncle that came back. I had an uncle. He was in the army. Okay, and he came back, and also her sister came back. Also, yeah.
Okay.
And she lived in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Mhm.
Why did your mom? What did she choose to come back here because she was comfortable? Like she had already lived here, so she was comfortable here, or
I really don't know why she come back. That's the question that we kept asking. Me and my brother asked ourselves. You know,
yeah,
what made him come back? You know.
that's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever see her sister, your aunt?
Yeah, we used to visit with my sister. She used to come up here, and we used to go down to Los Angeles to visit her.
What's her name?
Her name is Emma. Yachi-san is her Japanese name, Yachi-san, but Emma.
Okay.
And then Uncle George was he was a tennis pro and a golf pro, and he was quite an athlete. And he was in he went to Army language school, so he was in the what do you call it? I'm not sure what you call it, but anyway, he knew several different languages.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, like almost not CIA.
Intelligence.
Okay.
He was in Army intelligence. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you know if he was where he was assigned? Like what languages he learned?
I think he learned Korean, Chinese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he ever deployed, like in Korea?
No, I don't think he was in Korea. No.
Okay.
I'm not sure. He was just in the Army. He was in Fort Ord, actually.
Oh.
Fort Ord, and I'm not sure where else. Okinawa. I think he went back to Okinawa also.
Where did he live? Like where did he decide to stay after the army?
He went back to Okinawa. I
Oh,
think,
to live.
Japan. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
And he got married. Uh-huh.
Did he ever come to visit, or did you ever go to visit him or your mother?
We never went there, but he came to visit us in Los Gatos. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm. He could drink the beer too. He just sit there and drink drink beer, and him and my mom would be talking, and boy, they talked all night long and drinking the beer.
How was home life? What was life like at home with your parents or your mom?
Okay, I don't know. It was okay.
Do you
Yeah,
remember-
we had a pretty good life, actually.
Yeah.
We used to, we used to make mochi. We used to pound rice. We used to steam the rice and pound it and make it like cakes, rice cakes. New Year's, that's a New Year's tradition.
Right.
And we did that.
Every year?
Every year, yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you do it with any other families or just your family at home?
Just our family, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How long did you is that something you still like to do, or when did you?
Oh yeah, we don't do it anymore. We don't. We just go buy it now,
Yeah.
because it's quite a chore to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start a fire. We had this like a stove with the steamers, and we had about 3 different steamers, and we had water boiling, and so you would have to take the bottom one, and then the second one, drop it down, and the first one, as we make it,
Right.
and we put it in this, it's made out of granite. It's granite that's hollowed out, and you put it in, it's like rice, and you push it together, then you start pounding it. You pound it, and you would have to use hot water all the time on the mallets, because it would stick to it, see? So we'd have to keep putting water on it, and we pound it, and turn it over, and it was fun. It was kind of hard work, but it was fun.
How much would you make?
Oh, I don't know, probably maybe about 3 gallons of it.
Whoa.
And we put it on rice cakes. We put it on these trays, maybe about 3-4 trays, about this size right here, and all different sizes.
Wow. That sounds like a nice memory. It also makes me think of the way you cast iron.
Oh, cast iron.
The process of making the mochi seems similar to what the amount of labor that goes into making.
Okay, yeah, there'll be 3 of us, and we'd pound. We'd go in rotation, so pound, keep. Of course, you have to be in sync with each other,
Right.
Uh-huh.
It seems like a lot of those skills transferred to ironwork.
Well, it could be, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty good with a hammer. Uh-huh. Yeah, I do forging.
Yeah.
I'm an iron worker, and I have a couple of anvils, and
Yeah.
I like to pound metal. I like to bend steel.
Do you still do it?
I still do it. Yeah.
What kind?
Off and on.
What kind of things do you like to make?
Okay. Right now I make nameplates. Nameplates. Okay. I'll make you one. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I got your name, Daniel Chiyoe.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make you one, and you'll see what it is. But I just take a piece of steel and write your name on it, and I cut it out with a torch, and I polish it. I just with a grinder
Whoa.
and polish it, and then I'll spray it with clear so it won't rust. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
What you learned all of that just working, right?
I
Or
worked
through
in
your
an
apprenticeship?
ironworking.
Yeah.
And I have made some signs. I made signs for a ranch. You know, they have like Rancho Los Robles, okay, and Rancho Los Olivos, okay, and I have to make a sign right now. Welcome. It's a welcome sign, and the last one I made is open. You know, so you can see the sky through it. Instead of having a you know, the letters, it's open, so you can see the sky, you know, silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they come out pretty good.
That sounds very nice.
Pardon me?
That sounds really nice.
Okay, yeah, it's fun.
Is that something that you that sounds more fun than like working in a factory?
Okay, it's not yeah, this is all my tools, they're not tools anymore, they're toys, okay? So it's all toys now, you know. You don't have to do it, you know. So
Right.
I do it just because I want to, or because I can.
Right.
And it's fun. It's fun creating things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Have you taught yourself new things that you didn't learn while doing foundry work?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what got you into it as a hobby versus a job?
It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it because I like to see things that I built, you know, and I like to see beautiful things. Mostly old ironwork. It's hand hammered, hand forged, or formed, you know.
Right.
I like the curves, you know. There's so much you could do with iron.
Right. Yeah.
So I have friends that I do it for mostly.
Wow.
Like you're my friend. I'm making you a nameplate. Okay.
Thank you. I'll try and make you. I can't do any iron work, but I can make you something with yarn if you want.
You're an artist.
I wouldn't call myself an artist. I've been knitting a lot of ties, like.
Oh, ties. Okay.
And then pillows. I've been making pillows.
Making
by
what?
hand. Pillows.
Pillows. Oh, okay. Oh, you crochet?
Not very well. I can knit.
Oh, you're a knitter.
And
okay.
then I do a lot of like punch needle work, like rug work.
Oh, needlework, huh?
Yeah. So like doing, but with like a bigger needle on a on a cloth, so that you can kind of shape it however you want and make it into things like pillows and stuffed animals and stuff.
So you know how to tie knots?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a knot person, huh?
Not that type of knot.
Okay.
I'm not like a mariner, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, a rope. Ironworkers use rope, you know, and rope is my favorite tool. One of my favorite tools.
Really.
Yeah. You know, tying knots and like rigging. Okay. And anyway, by the way, I climb redwood trees too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into that?
Well, I like cutting trees, okay, and pruning and sawing, but mostly by, anyway, you know what Gilroy Hot Springs is? Okay, anyway, I was a volunteer up there for 7 years.
Wow.
And I cut a lot of trees up there, and over there, we could only use handsaw, so I cut a whole big oak tree down with a handsaw. The tree was about that big. I started up on top, and it was over the cabin, Pennsylvania cabin. So I couldn't drop anything on the cabin. So anyway, I did that by myself.
Just for, did they ask you as a volunteer to manage?
Oh,
trees?
yeah, actually,
How did you get into that?
Okay, I just went up there to volunteer because we went, we haven't been there for a long time, and we went there, my brother and me and my brother and my wife. I think we went up there just looking around. We could see it from across the canyon, but anyway, so they have this deal about volunteering, and so I volunteered. Yeah.
Wow. What other types of things do they have you do up there?
Okay, we clear underbrush in the cabins. Well, we rebuilt some cabins up there.
Really?
Okay, yeah, we start with the footing. We had to, this one here was wanting to slide down the hill, so we had to get underneath there, and we had to fix all the footings,
Wow.
build new footings with it.
So that's carpentry too.
Yeah, it's carpentry. We had this guy. His name is Tim Lance, and he was a historical preservationist. And anyway, when they had the Loma Prieta earthquake here, some of these houses in Los Gatos that leaned over and went down. Anyway, there's this one up there called the Taylor House, Taylor Malpa's house, and he got underneath it. He jacked it up and rebuilt it.
Wow.
And it's in I think it's in the Architectural Digest.
Wow.
So he did a lot of, anyway, we worked for him.
What do you remember the earthquake? Were you living in town when that happened?
Yeah, I was in town. I was at home. I was at home eating Chinese food. And anyway, behind my house I have this flagpole. It's 50-foot flagpole, and it's got a pipe in the middle of it, and it was you could hear it rattling in there.
Wow.
And but I went to go out, but my wife was panicked. She wouldn't let me go outside. And anyway, that was quite a shaker.
What was it like in town after?
Okay, in town down there, it took some houses out. You know, not every one of them, but one here, like wherever the lines went. You know.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of it. Yeah, it raised all kinds of heck. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know anyone who lost their house? Did you have friends in the area downtown?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. But I was working on a job up there by Foster City up there. Okay, and anyway, they have these man lift elevators, and anyway, the counterweight goes all the way up to the top. At nighttime, when the elevator's down, the counterweight's way up on top, and so it bent the tower of it.
Wow. Did you do any ironwork to fix things after the earthquake?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, they have this thing called retrofit. You know, after the earthquake.
Yeah.
And they did that all over the place.
Yeah.
But I never got in any of that.
Okay. When did you say you retired?
Pardon me? Oh, I retired. When did I retire? I retired in 2001.
Okay.
So it's been 19 years.
What made you want to retire?
Okay, everything. Oh, you know what? I had prostate cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, and that probably had something to do with it. But I noticed everything started getting heavier. You know, heavier, and I said, "Oh boy," I had 30 years of it, so I decided to retire then. At the time.
Wow, and you recovered?
I recovered. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What other, do you remember anything from your childhood around town that sticks out to you as far as things that you would do around town as a kid? Or did you spend most of your time at home?
Okay, we'd go to the movies. We go to the movies, Los Gatos Theater over here. And I joined the Boy Scouts too one time, and so not for long. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I think we got in trouble or something. But anyway, went to the movies and around town. I remember in 1949 they had a big parade, 49er Gold Rush. It was in 1949. It was a 100-year celebration.
Wow.
And it was anyway. You know, there was really prejudice about you know, minorities in the ironworking. You know, and one friend of mine said that I would starve to death. You know.
Because you wouldn't be able to work.
Yeah, because they wouldn't hire me. You know, people wouldn't hire me. But
Wow.
you know, when you're a minority, you have to work twice as hard. You know, like Michelle Obama. She said she has to work twice as hard to get half as much credit. You know.
Right.
So I guess we're hard workers. So yeah, I had a excellent career. I never starved to death. You know.
Did you ever face any difficult people when you were working in?
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't recall any. Because yeah, I just maybe I didn't see it, you know. But anyway, no, nobody ever bothered me.
Wow.
And, I kept getting jobs because I wasn't no slouch, you know. And
Right.
I like to perform.
Yeah. Did you ever lose a job? Did you feel like you've ever missed a job? Like you were ever turned away from one?
You know, I really can't remember. I could have been, but I don't remember because I was working all the time, you know. And you know, I was getting premium money too because I guess because I performed well, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was an apprentice, and I got a job up in working on a bridge up north. And anyway, the way I got the job is I went to the Union Hall. I was staying up in the city at the time, and I went to Union Hall, and my first wife wanted to move to Redding because she was afraid of the earthquakes down here. So we moved to Redding, and I was having to come down here to go to apprenticeship school during the week. And so I heard of a job up there. They had a bridge job way up in Northern California. And so I thought, hey, it would be good to make that job, even though it was pretty far away from Redding still. So I was an apprentice, and so it was summertime, so I didn't have to go to apprenticeship school. So I went to the Union Hall, and I went up to the business agent, and I asked him if I could get on that bridge job up there because I live in Redding. And I was working in San Francisco on the BART system at the time. And you know what? Maybe about a week later, or maybe less, the business agent come onto the job, and he gave me the referral to go up there.
Wow.
And I thought that was really something, you know. And
Yeah.
And so anyway, I went up to that job, and the first day they had me grinding the wells, oh, what a shitty job that was. And I said, oh boy, what I get myself into, you know. So anyway, I heard there was they needed a connector, so I went over to the superintendent and asked him if I could take a job connecting. Okay, that's work with a crane, you know.
Okay.
And they call it the racing gang. Okay. Anyway, so he asked me. He says, "Are you a bridgeman?" A bridgeman is somebody that could do everything, you know. But I was still an apprentice, and I told him, "I'd like to think I am." You know, I told him that, you know. And he says, "Well, this Pete Peterson, anyway, he runs the racing gang. He's the racing gang boss, and he said he gets his iron up pretty good, you know, pretty quick." And so, anyway, I got on as a connector there, and I spent all summer connecting up there. And
Wow.
and anyway, yeah, I made it. I guess I made it because he asked Pete asked me if I wanted to go to this other job, he has later on in Oakland.
Mhm.
And anyway, to get invited like that is really something, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And also, they issue you these tools, okay, these spud wrenches.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway, so at the end of the job, when I come to leave, I asked Pete if I could I have these, could I keep them? And he says, well, do you need them? I said, yeah, I do. So he let me have the spud wrenches too. For leaving, and I don't know, but I had to ask him, you know, because I wanted them. And anyway, everything worked out for me like that. And
Have you been to the bridge since?
pardon me?
Have you been to that bridge? that helped
Yeah,
you?
I think I've been to the bridge. Yeah, it's on the Klamath River.
Oh.
Yeah, it's there's two bridges. They built one a year before, and they're finishing it up. When I was on the second one, one curves. One curves this way and the other one curves the other way. It's called Rogers Creek Bridge.
Okay.
And it's up there. It's up probably about 105 feet from the river up to the bridge. Uh-huh.
Wow.
It was an awesome bridge. It was a plate girder bridge, and it went uphill a little bit too. So they call it a super, and it has it's curved girders too.
Wow.
So anyway, I was apprentice connecting for American Bridge on as an apprentice.
I don't think many people could say that.
Yeah, so I had a lot of highlights in my career, actually.
Yeah.
That happens like that.
Do you have a favorite thing that you've ever helped build?
Okay, we built the ferry terminal in Larkspur Ferry Terminal.
Wow.
Anyway, it's an inverted pyramid. It goes up like that. It goes up like that. It gets bigger on top. It starts small. And there's 3 of those towers. 1, 2, 3, and they're all connected together with trusses, pipe trusses. It's all 4-inch pipe, I think it is. And they smash the ends. And they have a weldment to make a full penetration weld, and it's quite a structure, actually.
Wow.
And this company I work for, PDM, they like to build these landmark structures. Okay, like in St. Louis Arch, they built the St. Louis Arch. Okay, you know what that one is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, and Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove.
Oh.
The Crystal Cathedral, it's all space frame like that too.
Wow.
But,
And you said you were working on BART?
BART, yeah, I worked on BART.
What were you doing for BART?
Okay, connecting actually. I
Yeah.
was connecting there when I went up to the bridge. Okay, and it's built below the street level. It's underground, and they build from the top down. Instead of building from the ground up, they build from the top down.
Interesting.
Okay, they have it's all full of sand, and they had to dewater it also because it's in the water table down there. So they have these tubes that they check. This engineer goes around checking them, and they make sure the water level stays where it needs to be.
Wow.
And anyway, it's full of sand. They have to excavate and put another level in. So they built from the top down on that. And I was apprentice at the time too.
Wow.
Mhm.
And you were connecting, so
I was connecting,
okay. Wow. That seems like a lot of high profile jobs that you've worked on. Like a lot of big.
Okay, yeah, I worked on Antioch Bridge.
Wow.
I just worked there just for a short while, just to put one span up. Okay, anyway, they have these huge barge cranes. It's called Smith Rice. They got different sizes, but they're so humongous. Yeah. Anyway, the house is like this room right here where the machinery is in the house, and then we had to wait for them to come up the channel to Antioch. They had to come up the Sacramento River,
Yeah.
On the from probably from Oakland they
Okay.
come up.
Wow.
Anyway, I put one span in. I think there was probably 100 feet long or so. Maybe
Wow.
maybe longer. Maybe they're 200 feet. I'm not sure. But anyway, oh yeah, we put the whole thing together. Put the whole thing together. Twin girders, okay, and then there's fill-in. There's buck braces to keep it together, and anyway, they picked the whole thing up and set it.
Wow.
With a big barge crane.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any, I know we've got an hour, do you have any favorite buildings around town that you've seen, or either that you've been a part of, or that you really like for their architecture?
Oh, I don't know. I worked on the River Park Tower. Park Tower. Anyway, each window is, they have a view. They have a panoramic view because they go out like that. If you look at the building, you'll see each one.
Wow.
You know.
And what work did you do on that?
Okay, I think I was welding. Oh, I was a welding foreman on that, actually.
Wow.
And they built two of them. There's one, and then there's the other one. Different company built the other one, but anyway, I was asked to be the foreman on that second building, but then they delayed it for, I don't know, a couple of years, I think, you know.
Yeah.
So I was retired by then.
Wow. Do you have, I know we've gone quite a bit of time, so is there anything that you want to share about your life, about living in Los Gatos, that stands out to you, or that you would want people to know?
Okay, anyway, yeah, I had a great time living in Los Gatos, growing up in Los Gatos, and yeah, a lot of nice memories.
Yeah. And is there a reason you stay living in Los Gatos? Is there something about it?
Oh yeah, I live in San Jose, but
sorry.
anyway, every time I come back to Los Gatos, I think, wow, I love coming through here, you know.
Yeah.
Because it sort of brings you back, you know.
Yeah.
You relive those carefree days, you know. They say carefree and gay, but but gay means different thing nowadays than it did back then, you know.
Right. Yeah, it seems like you had a really fun childhood.
Yeah, I've had a fun life, actually.
Yeah.
I had a good ride, we'll say. And I'm still having a good ride, too.
That's great. Yeah. Is anything else that you want to share before I stop recording?
Okay, thank you so much. It's been nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much.